You know, you often have a way of saying words that just trigger thoughts in my mind that take me to the next subject. And you said going to get it, putting somebody in the blender. We got some current events we got to talk about, Sap Dad. Got some current events. I've seen your dissatisfaction with the police department and
Oh,
kind of taking the task with a lawsuit on their false arrest.
you know what? It's the sheriff's department, and that's the one that's the most disappointing because the sheriff, if you know in any county, you got police and whatever, the sheriff is the highest.
Yeah.
And the sheriff is a constitutional officer
Yep.
who should be well versed in our constitutional rights because they swear an oath to protect those rights. And to be violated in less than 30 seconds, and then not to have a supervisor come to me, nothing. Speak to the lieutenant, he don't want to come. Speak to the sheriff talk wild at me, tell me I got a time, place, and manner for my First Amendment. I thought I had crossed over into North Korea, dog. And I spent a lot of time in Okeechobee fishing and hunting and just I got a bunch shooting doves, doing a bunch of things because that's like Florida's playground right there in the middle, right
Hmm.
there around the big lake. And the big lake give you a lot of great fishing and a lot of good times. And I love being in the woods. You know what I'm saying? Take me in the woods. I'm a country boy.
Yeah.
And let me enjoy myself. And I ain't been back to Okeechobee since, man. Put a
Mm.
real bad taste in my mouth, man.
Absolutely.
Like really?
I want to burn it from both ends real quick, and not real quick, because we got to rush through it. End result, the state attorney threw it out, said they were wrong. Beginning result, like you didn't do nothing wrong, like you weren't even.
I was walking him through the law.
Yeah.
And then he says to me, I know the law. So I'm like, okay, what's your name and badge number? Since, you over here barking out unlawful, I'm obstructing and I'm standing here. And last time I checked, when you hand somebody the ticket, your official duties is over.
It's a wrap.
A warning, a ticket, whatever it is over. I walked over and looked at the ticket. Buddy was finna put it in his pocket. I wanted to see what the miles per hour was because she was sitting there talking about I'm trying to teach you something. As you heard, I'm
Yeah.
trying to teach you something. Are you teaching somebody something and you got the miles per hour wrong?
And you got the definition of obstruction wrong. You never got in their way.
Come on, man. I explained it to him. Obstruction is a physical thing, a physical act. What am I doing that's obstructing right now? And there was people closer to me than they were.
You can see that in the video.
How am I the one obstructing? Oh, that's right. I'm talking. I'm running my mouth. That's freedom of speech.
You're
You
showing how
do.
smart you are.
It wasn't. You know what? It wasn't so much the smartness. It was just I know my rights. I'm just
No,
sitting here
I'm talking
talking.
about from their perspective. They like
Oh no no no
there's
no.
people
Yeah,
out
that
there who don't
totally.
want to be
Oh no,
outsmarted, man.
this was a black man in Okeechobee. He can't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
That's what this
Now we're on the
was.
same page.
This what this was. Oh,
Yeah.
he said the universal Negro shut your mouth words to you. You want to go to jail today? And you know when we were kids, boy, don't say
Yeah.
nothing, man.
That meant be quiet, boy.
Yeah, boy, that mean be quiet, boy. And I hadn't heard that for 50 years. I was not gonna hear that day. Are you serious? That's what I said to him. Are you serious? Are you serious? I'm dead ass serious. Shit, what you mean? I gotta break the law to go to jail now.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them, buddy. I have no qualms with the jail. The jail ain't got nothing I like in there. Nothing.
Yeah, but it's that shut up and dribble mentality. Certain people
Worse
ain't
than that.
supposed to be able to speak on
Worse
certain
than that.
things.
Worse than that. It's that shut your mouth, boy. Who you talking to? I got a badge and a gun.
Yeah.
Huh? First and foremost, you are here to protect and serve. And that would be protect and serve we the people. And what is your qualms with me correcting the young lady on the miles per hour? He's not going double. What
Yeah.
you want to say to him and threaten him with was you were going 2 miles per hour for me making a judgment on a traffic misdemeanor, not a traffic violation. And you and me both know you could be arrested for a misdemeanor.
Absolutely.
So that's what she wanted to say, but for some reason, neither one of them could get it out of their mouth as they both was trying to explain the ticket. Or just cop explain as I talk about it, because you hadn't gave him the ticket. It was over.
Yeah.
And this was over 30 minutes. That's what brought me back on. I'm like, what what the hell? 30 minutes? What they doing? Let the man go. The man was begging her. I have a perfect driving record. I've never speed. You know, this lady didn't want to hear nothing but it was talking about ID'd the passenger unlawfully.
Yeah.
Just rambunctious.
Hard to give a driving violation to somebody who wasn't driving.
And then you cannot ID the passenger unless you had a reasonable articulable suspicion that they in commission of a crime, about to commit a crime, or just got finished committing the crime. You have no right to ID the passenger. And they know this, but they still unlawfully do it because they want to see if you got a warrant. And then they taking you to jail now.
Well, Sapp, what do you say to those who will say to you, hey, why don't you just mind your business? Like they ain't had nothing to do with you.
The matters of public interest is always our business because the last time I checked, who pays their salary? We the people. And I thought it was a little excessive that they were still sitting there 30 minutes later. One thing she had to do was say, my computer's not working, sir. I'm going to give you a warning today. You get to keep your perfect driving record. How great would that video have been for the officer? Shows some professionalism, courtesy, and your equipment wasn't working that we the people pay for.
Yeah.
But instead of that, you want to insist on getting this man a ticket. The other officer had done driven off after you told him you needed his assistance. He done drove off. She got to call him back. So he drives back to it. And then instead of her just saying, you know what, man, since you drove off, you know what, I'm going to let the guy go. No. Why would we do that? I mean, it's a victimless crime. Nobody got hurt that's going 63 and a 35 that rapidly dropped from 45 right over the top of a hill. No reduced speed ahead sign. None of this. So it's just one of those things that, you know, you're looking at them entrap you with the speeding, and now you've ran over the allotted time for the detention in the traffic stop. You disregard that. ID the passenger, disregard their rights. And then now when I'm just correcting you on your obvious wrong statement of the man's going double the speed limit and you trying to teach somebody something, you know, that's what got me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach you something. Trying to teach somebody something. You can't even get the speed right. What are you doing? You cops explaining. And now, after you've handed the ticket, any presence after that is an unlawful presence by law enforcement.
Yeah, the matter is concluded.
And now you turn it into, you want to grab me. You want to go to jail?
That's where I want to go next. Like, at what point, I know we've seen the video, but how did this escalate into touching you?
Because he told me the universal shut up Negro slogan. You want to go to jail today? And I said, are you serious? And he asked me, am I serious? And I say, I'm dead ass serious. So now he done turned his full attention to me as he wrote in this report. I turned my full attention to the unidentified black male, not just a male. Yeah, you got to write a script for the prosecutor. You got to tell him it's a big black man over here, you know, in so many words without saying it. There's a big black man over here talking to me with his freedom of speech.
Everybody out there knew that was Warren Sapp.
Unreal.
That size, that mohawk, that location, everybody out there knew that was Warren Sapp.
90% of the state of Florida would know who I am unless you're an old lady in, you know, Dixie County or something like that. You know who this is. I was on Dancing with the Stars. I cover both sides of the bed. No doubt about it, I cover both sides of the bed. So, my man, what in God's name do I got to do?
No, you cool.
All right. So, he went from 0 to 100 in no time. After I, you know, calmly explained to him what obstruction was. And then I told him what I'm doing is constitutionally protected freedom of speech. Mm-hmm. You do know that, don't you, officer? And then he said, I know the law. So I asked him, I have your name and badge number, please, sir. He spit it out. And then I went to turn to the other officer because I didn't expect him to step to me.
Yeah.
That's when it escalated when he stepped to me because he had done decided in his mind there that he was going to put his hands on me.
Oh, absolutely.
I had done decided he was going to put his hands on me because and all this intimidation, because that's the intimidation part. I'm finna step to him and do this here and ask him for his name. I wish I could replay it because if I saw this, I would have looked back at him and say, you have a little hand up here. Are you asking me for my identification, sir?
Mm.
And then I would have spit out 901.151 is the actual Florida statute that he needs to demand my ID under law,
Yeah.
which is reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime or city ordinance violation. That's what I was gonna say to him, but he asked me for my name. And your name, I don't answer questions. They say that's the magic 4 words, boy.
Mm.
I don't answer questions to get you hooked up every time.
Yeah. But even
And
in the hookup now, you never escalated. You never escalated like they did.
why would I? I'm not finna get my face slammed on that concrete. And I'm
Mm.
damn sure don't want to get tased and mess myself. Nah, I done heard them stories. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. You gonna put your hands on me and you're not smart enough to know your policies and procedures and rules and regulations, and I have not committed a crime. I wasn't in commission of a crime, and I just hadn't finished the crime. So I like I said to him on the video, I just would like for you to explain to me why you got your hands on me.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, you the law enforcement officer. Tell me why you got your hands on me. That's it. You say I'm detained, then explain the detention. Then he writes in his report, I explained to him several times for the reason for his detention. It's like the body cam ain't even on him. I mean, I'm like, how do you write this?
Yeah, this
Like,
is all recorded.
not all of it. Because as soon as he heard my name, he hit mute on his body cam. Because the dude that was driving me finally got so frustrated with it. Like, because, everybody walking around was like, because now there's like 10 cops on the scene.
Mm.
I'm gonna reiterate, maybe 14, because there was like 5 of them from the city cops. Because we were driving a bunch of spaceships, which are Lamborghinis, Bugattis.
Yeah.
We was doing a charity rally and feeding the homeless. So it's a bunch of the cheapest car was $700,000 there. Trust me,
Yeah.
it was spaceships there that we was riding in. Lamborghini after Lamborghini after Lamborghini after Bugatti after. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
Ferrari supercars, all this, just stupid cars, Porsches, everything you could think of. So they all came more to look at the cars, I thought, as the officers came up, because there was no disturbance to have 14 officers there. But they did. And they're walking around when I finally got the body cam, they're walking around talking about who's in the car. And they're like, we don't know. That's why he's in the car. We don't know his name. And nobody said, wait, his name? Is that why he in the car? Because he wouldn't give y'all his name? Y'all better get that man out the damn car. Like what are y'all doing?
Mm-hmm.
There's policies and procedures and due process and civil rights that you done put the handcuffs on this man for what? Nobody asked for what? At no time except he wouldn't give me his name, so that's obstruction. That's what the field training officer kept yelling. That was the guy that arrested me, was a field training officer. He just kept yelling, you don't give me your name, that's obstruction. Then the sergeant shows up on the scene, body cam muted. Jesus.
Mm.
Ask the greatest question you can ask in this situation,
What
because
was
of
that?
how you get charged with obstruction is if you get pulled over and you don't want to give up your license and you obstructing them from getting your license because maybe you have warrants. That's how they throw the obstruction on you. It's a secondary charge.
Mm-hmm.
The first one would be whatever the traffic violation was, and then you didn't want to give up your ID. There's your obstruction. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how you get charged with obstruction. So he pulls up to the 2 officers, the lady officer who has me in the car, and the arresting officer who done put me in the lady's car, not his own car. He done put me in her car. What was he driving? He wasn't driving. So that should have been the red flag that went up
Yeah.
for the sergeant right then.
Yeah.
If he ain't driving, how do we got obstruction, yo? This
Yeah.
is a simple due process. There's certain steps we get to this.
Yeah.
So the lady got ready to explain it. Oh, he's riding with a friend over there, and I had this guy over here. You got PC? Yeah, take him to jail. Just like that. Then he turns to my friends that are sitting there, and 4 of them are off-duty cops that are in the charity. They're explaining to his officers what they did wrong with the, yelling, get the F back, I'll pepper spray you to the crowd. The crowd just standing there watching. These are millionaires.
Yeah.
These are millionaires just standing here watching. It's like, what do you mean you gonna pepper spray us? We just watching this. Like, what are y'all doing? The man sitting here talking to y'all. What are you doing? You didn't throw this man in your car? What are y'all doing? And then the cop is going down telling us, like, how long you been a cop? She's like, 4 years. He was like, I've been a cop for 7. And what you just did is wrong. So the the sergeant is right beside him. And the sergeant says, the rest of y'all better leave or I'm taking y'all to jail for obstruction too. Never comes to see me one time at the scene. Never asks me what happened, sir. This is why you here. Nothing. Body cam on mute. Don't care. Come to see me in the jail. 90 minutes after I'm there in the jail. You want to see the supervisor? I said, sir, is your body cam on? It's always on. Now we know that's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to ask him why he didn't come see me at the scene. He tell me sometimes it ain't feasible for the supervisor to come see you at the scene because of the chaos and all the people. He don't know
That's all the reason to go.
That's your job.
Yeah.
To come see the person that you talking about taking to jail and make sure that everything is structurally sound. You the road patrol supervisor here. You're supposed to supervise your people.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come talk to me nothing. So I say, all right, cool. I said, when's the traffic stop over? When we leave the scene. I said, well, you were still there after I left, and the person that had got the ticket, they were gone. It was still going on. Oh my goodness, man! You know, as a kid, you hear all the time that it ain't the crime, it's the cover up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this. I called it internal affairs and said I wanted to file my complaint. He said, yeah, you got to come up here to the office and get some paperwork. I said, what paperwork you speak of there, Sergeant? Oh, it's a citizen complaint. I said, I got one right here in front of me and it say by phone. So, all right. I said, are you ready to take my complaint? Oh, yeah. What's your name? And you know you can file a complaint anonymously, right?
Yeah.
But I said, you know what? I'm not hiding from this. I want you to know the QB killer coming through the door. This Warren Sapp. Oh, I'm not taking your complaint. I did the same thing. I almost dropped the phone. I said, excuse me? Oh yeah, I heard about this. I'm not taking your complaint. I don't think this is the way this works, sir. Well, yeah, it's gonna work that way and click. Hung up.
See, this is now I'm gonna say this. I believe, having watched the video, at the scene, they knew who you were. The phone call you just talked about, they knew who you were. If they will do this to a gold jacket Warren Sapp, what they do to little Leroy?
What? Rufus Tyrone, Banji, Bamba, anybody.
Yeah.
It does not matter. Man. And then they put an enormous amount for you to get your body cam footage too. $200 something for the body cam footage. What? We've already paid for it. That's our uniform, car, camera, the data, computer you holding in. We pay for all that. You got to charge me another $200 for me just to watch you violate me.
Yeah.
And then I walk in.
Most of the people violated ain't got the time or the money to go through their process. So that
they just want to be let go and everything go away.
Yeah.
But when I looked into this is the thing that's driving me forward. And you know me, I love my babies and I will teach them your rights and how you stand up for them in every situation, especially when you get violated. We're not gonna be violated. That's long gone. That stepping and fetching and skinning and grinning, no. That's way gone. That's way gone. Especially when you done put your hands on me and violated your oath to the Constitution. And then want to kick dirt in my face when I just asked for an apology. That's what got me. Because that was the only thing I wanted was an apology. I went for an apology. Man told me I ain't getting an apology. You ain't gonna defend your case across my desk. 14 days after it was dismissed. I'm sitting in this man's office, and I'm there just to pick up the body camera footage right now. Yeah. I still don't know all of what they did to me. I still don't know it. I'm just know that they, I don't know the conversation, nothing. I don't know none of this because I don't have it yet. And I'm in his office just asking for an apology. I was gonna go home and just throw it away. I was gonna be like, you know what? I'm going to Colorado.
Yeah.
I'm good. You know, I'm good. I got blaze trails in front of me. I just got to do what I got to do and make sure I'm set. You know, man, I've been waking up every night at 3 o'clock in the morning. My mom lady looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, baby, I just it, it just keeps reoccurring.
Yeah.
It just keeps reoccurring, dog. I cannot get a night's sleep like that. I sleep more in the afternoon than I do at night. I'm telling you, it just keeps reoccurring. Just. And I walked in the man's office asking for an apology. This man basically just looked at me like, "What? Who are you talking to about an apology?" I'm like, "What? I'm not here to Monday morning quarterback my officers. And what the hell are you here for?
Yeah, you are. You're here to manage them.
You the head dog. You
Yeah.
gotta dispense some justice around here. You got to.
And
This is your
like we started off this segment with the state's attorney threw it out like I'm not there's no crime here. Nothing happened.
Ray Charles could see ain't nothing happen. That's the bad part.
You know, Sapp, here's one of the challenges I wrestle with because and let me when I say wrestle, understand I know I'm right. So I'm wrestling on their behalf. These folks go through weeks and weeks, months and months, and even continue training when they have the job.
I don't think they do.
But they, well, you know, on paper they do. But they expect people, citizens who've not been trained, to be the ones to conduct themselves in a certain manner. It's like you hear officers say, "Hey, no, what you do is just be quiet, don't be cussing." Well, he
Ain't
went through the
cuss.
academy and he cussing.
I didn't cuss.
Yeah, I know you didn't. I'm talking about when you hear them
No, no,
talk
but
about,
that's the whole thing.
yeah,
They always tell you to cooperate.
but they're not cooperating. They the one who went through the training.
And got the policies and procedures that they have to follow.
Yeah, so
Rules of
I say that
engagement,
to
the whole
say
9 yards. That's the
the
whole thing.
patience the patience should be skewed toward the citizen who's untrained.
You're supposed to have de-escalation training and diversity training too. You're supposed to know how to handle a black person because you're not supposed to see a threat. But we
Mm-hmm.
know that's not the case. Just like they put the 5-year-old baby, they patted him down in the car, put handcuffs on 11-year-old girl up in New York talking about she done stole a car. What? And then after they dead wrong, gonna look at this black girl and say, you are identical to the suspect. I say, damn, we used to fit this damn description. Now it's an identical
Identical. Yeah.
match.
It
And
don't
you're
went
driving away
it
on an
don't went
identical
from it don't
match?
went from remind me of
No,
to
no, no.
identical.
We used to just fit the description.
Yeah.
Now it's an identical match.
Yeah.
After you have found out this child is not the person who stole a car, because 11-year-old can't drive. Jesus Christ.
But Sab, when during this process, going through these sleepless nights, lack of apology, lack of accountability, when did it hit you and say, you know what, I gotta do something? Here go a $20 million lawsuit.
When I got ready to take off to Colorado, and I was like, you know what, just let me just get the information and the different things I gotta get, right? When the internal affairs guy said he wasn't taking my complaint. I said, wait, last time I checked internal affairs, it's supposed to investigate the police.
Yeah.
Oh, I done heard about this, and I'm not taking your complaint. What? Well, now, if you know like I know most complaints get written up and get thrown in the garbage. Right? But you at least gotta write it down.
Yeah.
Dog, they just kept hindering my process with the complaint. The lieutenant wouldn't take it, the sergeant wouldn't take it, internal affairs wouldn't take it. I'd call the sheriff office, they tell me, you call our lawyer and don't call here no more and hang up. I'm not calling 911, I'm calling a non-emergency number so I can get some help.
Yeah.
You can put me on hold
You call
with
the
somebody.
administration side.
Somebody's got to take my complaint. You got to put this on paper, or
Yeah.
I can't start the process to get to what we talk about now. There's a certain process you got to go through in the state of Florida because the state of Florida is a police state. They don't play that. You got to go through, sue them at the state level, find out at the state level, oh yeah, they did do something wrong. Now you can kick it up to the feds. Huh? Yeah. So now, I, you know what? I said I'm gonna give whatever I get, I'm gonna give a good portion of it to victims advocate or people who have been put in this position who can't go get the body cam, who don't have the money and time to go, drive 115 miles and file public records requests. And they're gonna tell you got to come back and pick it up because it's too big to email. What? What are you talking about? We email everything. Monster files. How can we not email body camera footage? And it's $7 for the USB. Can I bring a USB and stick it in your computer? You can take it out of the wrapper. I'll bring it straight from the wrapper, straight from Walmart, and show you the receipt. No, we can't have any external things stuck in the computer. That's our computer. It ain't yours. It's the ownership of it. I think that in the non-transparency and the non-accountability, you're not here to Monday morning quarterback your officers. What? Only thing you had to do was apologize, and I would have been gone out of his hair. I would have never looked back. I'd have been like, cool. Nah, not when you do that. Not when you get into you got a time, place, and manner for your First Amendment. What?
No, that's not true.
What?
That's just not true.
And then when I have my body cam on and is always talking to him, he comes outside and looks at me and don't want to tell the records lady about who's dragging me out of his office to tell me that's where I got to file my public record request, not through the public official that I'm standing in the front of. This is a law. This ain't a suggestion or a policy. This is a law in Florida. When you file a public record request, it's Florida Law 119. I orally tell it to the public official. He writes it down, jot it down, remember it, whatever you got to do. Then you go to the records office and you give them my email and they will get it over to me. Mm-hmm. He told me that's not the way it works. Sheriff, this is a law. Yeah, you're going to get out of my office. All right, let me get my stuff. I'm behind you. No, you go in front. I say, oh, yeah, that's right. Officer safety. Yeah. So I'm laughing as I walk out. We get out in the hallway. He sprints over to the third window. Nobody's there. Because I've been talking to the young lady right here because who's finna give me my public records right here. I've been talking to her all morning. Come over here. Stand over here. I'm good right here. Oh, yeah, trust me. They won't give me the lobby footage now. Give me my jail intake footage. When I was in there teaching a young intake guy at the jail, I said, listen, man. I said, y'all even ID the passenger. Oh, we can ID everybody in the car. I said, who taught you that? What? I said, who taught you that? I said, I just want to know. They definitely didn't teach you that in the academy because you need 901.151 to ID that passenger. What? He looked at me like I had two heads, but he was asking me for an autograph. So I said, okay. I said, okay, I got something for you. You ain't getting this autograph until you go look up that law and learn something today. How about that? Since I don't know what I'm talking about, and you're the officer. He went around there and got on the computer, came back with his head down. I went to signing it.
But Sapp, the fact that the person who was getting the ticket got the ticket and gone by the time everything happened with you, how could you be obstructing something that's over?
Because they don't. I asked the sheriff, the sergeant, the road patrol supervisor, when there's a traffic stop over, he said when we leave the scene. I asked the sheriff when there's a traffic stop over, he said when we say it is. Trust me, it just, every time you asked a simple law enforcement constitutional question, the answers you got back was just, what country did I just step into? Yeah. This is not North Korea. This is not Nazi Germany where I got to show my papers. What is wrong with you, man?
Well, an apology or lack thereof has brought about a $20 million lawsuit. You know, we pulling for you.
Oh my God, dog. It don't even matter. It don't even matter what it is. You know, my representative did that and did that because I didn't have a number like that in my mind. I can tell you straight up. You know, I'm not that guy, but let's go, because I know what you did. You looked at a black man and say he don't know what the hell he talking about, and I'm taking his ass to jail. That's simple. That's simple. I'm not bringing him the supervisor. I'm not even gonna have a conversation with him. When I asked him, I said, when the lady officer jumped out the car and went to yelling, Ellis, and the only reason I know this now because you're Lieutenant Ellis, you're Sergeant Ellis. She went to yelling for you that I wanted to speak to the supervisor. What did you say to her? What are you talking about? I say, the lady officer that drove me to the station, I made her put her car in park. I said, babe, I'm going to say your job because I asked you for a supervisor, and that's policy. And if you break policy, that's grounds for termination. You can't break policy that you signed no policy. You can't break it. She slammed the car in park, jumped out. LS, LS. He ignored her, and her body cam was rolling nearly. Sarge, you just gonna ignore me like that? Oh no, when I got the body cam footage, dog, I was floored. I was floored. I'm like, did they all think they just turned them off or something?
Mm.
Or I didn't have the means to come get it? I don't know what this was, dog. I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone, man. It was crazy. 2 minutes and 47 seconds. I am inside the vehicle of a police car for damn piece of a crime.
So much so, again, I got to emphasize, so much so that the state attorney said, none to prosecute here. There was no crime committed. He shouldn't have been arrested.
So I called him on the phone, the guy that, dismissed my case, and I said, did you not see a crime when you looked at that body cam footage? What do you mean? I said, an assault. The officer's not allowed to put his hands on me without no lawful reason. You ain't got to kick this up to a public corruption or some kind of somebody up above you, and then they say, okay, we see it and whatever. He said, no, he don't have a duty to report. So now when I'm trying to dig out my complaint that was filed on July the 10th, this December, I finally get Lieutenant Thomas, who's a captain now, by the way, Lieutenant Thomas on the phone. I said, Lieutenant Thomas, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my complaint. Well, there's a criminal investigation going on. So you want to tell me what the criminal investigation involves? No, we can't give you any more information. You got to call our lawyer to talk about anything else. What? Why I got to call your lawyer? Your lawyer can't give me legal advice, and I don't need to speak to your lawyer. I'm a citizen redressing my grievances with my government right here. Why can't you talk? What am I missing here? And they trying to direct me to the sheriff's attorney. I tried to explain to him, I said, your attorney gonna be the city or county attorney. You ain't gonna get this guy that the sheriff got. You put yourself in the middle of some shit right now, buddy. You gonna get the public pretender. He gonna
Absolutely.
get the real. He gonna
Yeah,
get the real
you're
lawyer.
getting a staff attorney.
You gonna get counsel for the city. That's what you gonna get. Oh my God! But I went through the hoops. I jumped through the hoops. I called the lawyer. He gets on the phone and proceeds to tell me, I got my answer to my complaint. I just don't like it. I said, you know what, man? I'm gonna help you out, Ghost. It's obvious your client is failing you. Well, you can get a lawyer and file litigation. I said, are you giving me legal advice? I said, are you giving me? No. I'm telling you your option. I said, no. It sounds like legal advice. But what I'm gonna help you with is my grievance that I'm filing now that they told me to address with you. I need an answer to my complaint. Well, you got the answer to your complaint. You just don't like it. I said, that's the most asinine thing I've ever heard in my life, sir. You're telling me I have the reply to my complaint, and I'm sitting here for 40 minutes waiting on you to get on the phone to tell me I already got this? I say, can you read it to me? Because you should have it. If they told you this is where I need to redress my grievance at, you should have my answer to my complaint then, right? I said, I said, you ain't got it? You can't read it? Because it's damn sure ain't been sent to me, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I got an email for you. I spit my email out to him. I say, and you already have my email because you've written me letters talking about I threatening the sheriff, and I wasn't arrested after threatening the sheriff. How's that possible? I said, you've written me many emails. I've even sent you back the recording when they wouldn't take my complaint. And I asked you, is this transparency and accountability? You never answered that email. So it's just one of those things, man, that, they just kept driving the nail home. And this was December the 12th. that I spoke to this lawyer. I still haven't gotten the answer to my complaint.
Shut up and dribble. You want to go to jail? Be quiet, boy. That's all it is.
Boy, you know the rule. You know the rule. It's been that way for a long time, but we got to stop this.
Yeah.
Because they stopped teaching civics in high school.
Hmm.
They started teaching social studies and geography. Can you name the 48 continental states in Alaska and Hawaii? That don't help you. That doesn't help you because them rules wasn't written for me and you, Neely.
Hmm.
It wasn't written for me and you to exercise it.
Say that.
It wasn't written for us to be able to exercise that. And for you to know it, or you some type of law or something, somebody important or something.
Yeah. Little
I ain't
hove on
passed.
little Jay-Z.
Yeah, I ain't passed the bar, but I
I
know
know
a
a little
little
bit.
bit. Oh my goodness! But you know what? When you just ask, I was just asking for answers. Like, come on, man. Somebody got to lose their job. That's first and foremost because we can't have this. Somebody got to get demoted because if you can't, if you're not even gonna come to the scene and turn your body cam on in the proper manner and conduct a proper investigation, you can't be the road patrol sergeant. Come on, man. And then if you're the lieutenant, you got to come to the scene when the lazy ass road patrol sergeant, who you know lazy, you got to know this. You got to know this. He damn near pulled his gun, pulling up his pants. You know this. You gotta come make sure. When the sheriff is at his daughter's wedding, that's what he called me. I was at my daughter's wedding. I said, "No, dog. You know what? Go ahead and go. Do what you need to do to check on your people and get back to me."
But
But I
on
had
top
done
of
all.
on
But I
top of
had
all
done
that
all.
stuff,
But I had done already filed a public record request the night I was arrested.
I was
I
gonna
had
say
done,
to you, Sapp, out of all that, all they had to do is apologize later. That's all you asked for.
dude. I'm telling you, the thing that set him off was I had done filed a public record request before he even knew I had done filed it. Because you can hear him on the phone tomorrow. So what do you want to do about this? I ain't the law enforcement officer. I ain't charged nobody. I ain't assault, illegally detain and arrest somebody and give them three hours in jail and make them pay $750 cash bond. And then told my homeboy that was sitting there ready to bail me out, we can't take your money because you ain't got a Florida driver's license. What y'all looking to retaliate? Why does it matter that he from New York? My $100 bill spent in New York just like it spent in Okeechobee last time I checked.
Amen.
They did everything they could to make this thing hard for me. Made me go get a bail bomber because they wanted it to get out to the public without them doing it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Usually bail bomber got big miles, right? Brother pulled up on me and said, "Man, I ain't touching this." I said, "What you mean?" He's like, "I just got you out, dog. You ain't got to know my name or nothing. I don't want nothing to do with this." He was running. He was running from it because that's who normally tell it is the bail bomber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, trust me. I sat there. Oof. What you talking? Man, my background check was still coming in at Colorado, so I wasn't sleeping good, dog. I had to call
Yeah.
Prime as soon as I was on my way from the jail. Call him. Ain't got no footage at the time. Ain't got nothing at this time. That was the scariest part. That I didn't know, if they were gonna delete the video, do whatever they were gonna do with it. I had nothing. 2 days later, my dude hit me was like, "Got a video for you." I'm like, "No way." He's like, "Everybody's got it." And I had to call them all and tell them, "Don't post anything." Because, he runs the charity. So he called everybody, like, "Listen, Warren's trying to get it, he's close to getting a job at Colorado. If this hits the press, he's done, because Colorado ain't touching, nobody's going to touch me with that." I'm like, "Man, if you can do that for me, dog, please. But I need that video so you can send it to me so I can send it to Prime so I can keep him abreast of what's going on."
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I sent it to Prime. Prime was like, "Man." He's like, "You said you didn't get a chance to leave." No, because if he'd have said leave or go to jail, I'd have walked off. I'd have still had standing to sue him. No, he'd have said anything, go, leave, anything, I would have left. Shit, I wasn't there to get arrested.
Yeah.
He was riding in a rally. We was doing 100 miles an hour in the car. I didn't want to go 35 to the jailhouse and sit down. that ruined my Saturday. I had a good Saturday going. I'm gonna send you the video of the highway patrol racing us up to that point.
Yeah.
But Okeechobee ain't in agreement with nobody else to where, pay a little money, you ride the boys on through your town, and then you go. You look at a bunch of expensive cars and you get a little donation.
Mm-hmm.
That's how most places do it. Pay the cops, they give you an escort, you come through, everybody doing 110. They ain't gonna be there but 10 minutes, 5 minutes through your town. They
Yeah.
gone. They back out on the back road somewhere, Yeah, but it's how people are with their little towns and boy. So here we are. So I think Big Sugar got them, right? Big Sugar and Okeechobee, they got them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got plenty of bread. They leave their cars running outside all the time. I know the Florida sun hot. You better get a carport or something. But they cars. When I was up there doing my public record request, the cars just sit outside running. I said, "Boy, gas pretty hot to just be out here burning that gas like that." That is taxpayer dollars. That's all. I mean, it is what it is. But let it be what it's gonna be.
Well, man, proud of you. Appreciate you. Not just standing up for you, but for everybody else that's
Us.
connected to.
You know how many brothers don't know their rights, and
Yeah, absolutely.
and I'm
Absolutely.
gonna help y'all out there because Neely watched me do this to a couple officers, and 5 of them. 2 of them were chiefs of police. One was going out, and one was coming in,
Yeah.
and they didn't know this. The 5 elements of the First Amendment. It spells a very, something that you might recognize. We all know religion, so we'll get rid of that one. R, religion. Now we're gonna spell it SAPP. Speech, the freedom to peacefully assemble, freedom of press, the freedom to petition redress of our government. SAPP, RSAP. Take that home with your people. Make sure you got it, and please be quiet because I got an interrogation tape out there I'll tell you about back in the day. Shut up. They don't know nothing. Shut up and listen to them because they get into the word salad and the creative writing. And boy, it's so funny when you bring it to the facts, boy. It don't stand up. It's
Well,
crazy.
they make sure they tell you during the Miranda phase anything you say or do
Can
will
and will.
will
Can and will be
be
used
used
against you in
against
a
you,
court of
not
law.
for you, but against you.
Ain't nothing you about to say out your mouth for you. So you say, nope, give me a lawyer now.
Man, what a great Wednesday with Warren. We done caught up.
Hey
I
man,
think
it's 2025. We on some new stuff. We're finna reload the barrel. We finna get into this spring thing. We finna grab a couple more recruits and do this thing rounded right on off. And they're gonna let Rafi out the cage and the boys coming behind him. So
hey, well, until next Wednesday, it's the Hall of Famer Warren Sapp. It's your man, Uncle Neely. It is Wednesday with Warren on the Pregame Network. Sapp, we appreciate you, bad daddy.
we might have body cam footage for y'all next week. I don't know. Let me check it.
And we out.